California prices are not doing well. Okay, California real estate is by far one of the most volatile ones in the world. Now, people are saying that, oh, but in my California city, prices are stabilizing and prices are going up. Well, if you look at some of the biggest markets like Sacramento, the Bay Area, and Los Angeles, real estate just isn't really doing so well, right? Especially places like San Francisco. Condos aren't selling for anything, right? You can have condos with dirt cheap prices at prices where it's like 50% off from the original price tag and nobody will buy it. And if you also look at places like Los Angeles, one of the hottest real estate markets in the world, is now facing a massive freeze. If you check out some of the luxury listings, we will talk about this, like Beverly Hills, West Hollywood, Bel Air, stuff like that. These hyper expensive homes are not selling at all. And some of these mansions look absolutely incredible. Let's check out some of these mansions, right? For example, this one, it's $40 million. Yeah, it's on the market for a very, very long time. And by the way, don't be fooled when it says 31 days or 2 days on Zillow. Many times the listing agent just takes it off and relists it, so the days do reset. But if you look at some of these price cuts, it's crazy. Like this one, like $9.5 million price cut on this mansion. Nobody wants it. There's a massive influx of these mansions, but nobody wants these mansions. And this is what's going on with Southern California and also the Bay Area. Prices are falling, but drops are not over just yet, especially with California shrank by 138,000 people in 2022. It's continuing a pandemic trend. Experts are saying that it's too soon to say that California is a declining state, but I could tell you for sure that the amount of people inflowing into California is very low. The amount of companies have relocated from California to other cities is massive, right? California's a fantastic state, great weather, great beaches, right? But right now, it has really deteriorated. I think some of these cities who used to have a lot of talent, like Los Angeles and the Bay Area, these places that attract a lot of tech, a lot of celebrities, and now people are just leaving. Tech, celebrities, rich people are taking their money elsewhere. They say living in California just isn't worth it anymore with crazy high taxes. Why not live in Nevada, right? Why not live in Texas, Florida? You got Las Vegas, you got Austin, you got Miami. There's so many better options now, especially when you go to Miami, for example. The financial scene is already set up for you, right? The tech scene in Miami is booming. Las Vegas, same thing. If you go to Las Vegas, check out some of the companies headquartered there, you'll be shocked that it includes many media companies. It also includes a lot of tech startups and multi-billion-dollar tech companies as well. So you can't, it's very different from before, right? You can't just look at the other cities and be like, oh, Las Vegas is just gambling. Miami is just hospitality. I have to go to California to do my stuff. You don't have to do that anymore, right? The pandemic really made people sit down and think about their decisions, and people are just moving to other places. We're also seeing the luxury home market in Los Angeles taking some of the fattest beatings we've ever seen. Now, you may be wondering, oh, is the reason why? Is it because there's just homeless camps everywhere in these rich areas? Absolutely not. These rich areas are well kept, well maintained, but do rich people really want to live in Los Angeles? Do they really want to live in the California region? I'm sure these mansions are still being sold, but they're being sold at a very slow pace. Agents have said that the property tax that came in with luxury listings over $5 million has absolutely killed off the luxury markets. People who want to buy, for example, a $10 million home in Los Angeles, for example. $10 million isn't even that crazy of a price. It's something like this. It's pretty nice, right? Almost $10 million, but they're going to have to pay some crazy high taxes. I've heard stories that the new stamp duty tax in Los Angeles is absolutely killing the luxury market. Homes like these, you spend $10 million, you're going to have to pay an extra like $500K to $1 million just because there's this new stamp duty fee. Los Angeles just needs more revenue because so many people and so many companies and so many rich people moving out. They need extra revenue, so they've been taxing the luxury real estate market. But if you do that, people just go elsewhere or they just buy a smaller home. And it's kind of sad to see the kind of stuff. There's just too many mansions being built now. Some of the fattest price cuts. Some very expensive mansions going for like $50 million. He's sold for like $35 million. Like the price cuts are really, really crazy. Not to mention, rates are super duper high. The Fed rates are not dropping anytime soon. I'm sure you guys are wondering when they're dropping, but everyone is saying that's going to be next year around September to December. So we still have about 12 to 15 months before our first rate cut. And by that point, the economy is already in shambles because you're going to be having insanely high rates for the next 12 months at least. And you also have Feds deciding to hike up rates in the future. There's going to be one more hike this year. And there could be more hikes next year because Jay Powell has said that they will continue to hike rates if inflation continues to go up. Well, oil prices are at an all-time high at $92 a barrel. You probably have felt the effects of that. So we're going to be seeing even higher inflation, and higher inflation equates to more rate hikes. And inflation is already like really high. It's about 2 to 3 months of consecutive inflation increases. Whereas previously inflation was going down from like 9% to 3%, now it's 3% to 4%. It's not looking so great. We're going to be seeing more hikes. And many people are saying that Los Angeles office buildings and also San Francisco office buildings can also be turned into apartments because right now there's just so much vacancies. Office vacancies in San Francisco, for example, is up almost 40%, whereas places in Seattle, Hong Kong, and New York City are more like 10 to 17%. 10 to 17% is pretty bad, but when you have 35 to 40% like San Francisco, it's even worse. Well, don't count on office real estate buildings getting any sort of value because conversions, according to many San Francisco architects, they say it's going to cost between minimum $700 to $1,200 per square feet for an office to residential conversion. Yes, 200 LA office buildings are fit for apartment conversions or condo conversions. And absolutely, there's probably at least like a good 40, 50 large scale buildings in San Francisco fit for office to residential conversions. But would they do that when the economy is this bad, when rates are this high and nobody's coming to California? California's having a massive outflow of people? Probably not. Developers take their money elsewhere. This is why Miami is having so much development. Whereas places like LA, Sacramento, and the Bay Area having bare minimum construction. San Francisco construction is down about 85% from just 2021. Not even like the peak. We're just going to use 2021 numbers. Used to be like 1,700 condos per 2 quarters. Now it's like 200 apartments and condos. That's insane. Whereas Miami, they're building like a skyscraper a day. It's wild. And we're also seeing like fewer home and office sales in California, which is equivalent to a massive drop. We don't necessarily know what the other cities are experiencing in terms of transfer taxes, but San Francisco has said that they've received a 64% drop in transfer taxes, which they only made $186 million. They used to make like $500 million just from the transfer taxes of home and office sales from real estate. And LA, we don't know the exact numbers, but we could probably make a good quality guess that they're probably down bad as well. A good more than 50%, I bet, of a drop in transfer taxes. And it's not looking great at all for California. Now, California changes and do some massive drastic measures, actually enforce laws for once and maybe not be so crazy. Well, they might be able to recover, but right now people are saying that there's so many people leaving California. It's just not a great sign at all. We're going to be seeing even more pain coming in the real estate market, especially with the Federal Reserve pretty much hiking rates like crazy. Let's see what happens. Like, comment, and subscribe, guys. More news on California, Los Angeles, real estate, Bay Area, San Francisco. Awesome stuff. And some really wild stories too.